Almost everything popular culture taught you about Vikings is wrong. The real Norse people were traders, explorers, and lawmakers who reached North America 500 years before Columbus, and the truth is more impressive than the myth. As you delve into the history of the Vikings, you will discover that they established the first permanent Norse settlement in Greenland around 985, led by Eric the Red, who was banished from Iceland for murder. Can you imagine what drove a man like Eric to establish a new home in such a harsh and unforgiving environment? In the 8th century, the Frankish Empire, under the rule of Charlemagne, was expanding its territories, and the Vikings were reacting to this expansion by increasing their raids and trading activities. By 793, the Vikings had already launched a raid on the monastery at Lindisfarne, off the coast of Northumbria in northeastern England, marking the beginning of the Viking Age. The Vikings' expertise in shipbuilding, which included the use of clinker construction and symmetrical ends, allowed them to navigate the treacherous waters of the North Sea and beyond. As you consider the Viking seafaring abilities, you may wonder what other factors contributed to their success as traders and explorers. The Vikings' trading network stretched from the Byzantine Empire to the British Isles, and by the 10th century, they had established trade routes along the Volga and Dnieper rivers, which gave them access to the rich markets of the Middle East and Asia. In 860, the Vikings launched a raid on Constantinople, which was the capital of the Byzantine Empire, and in 911, they established the Duchy of Normandy, which would become a major power in medieval Europe. The Vikings were also skilled craftsmen, and their metalwork, which included intricate brooches and ornate swords, was highly prized throughout Europe. As you explore the Vikings' trading activities, you may ask what role their literary skills played in their success. The Vikings were literate, and their runic alphabet, which consisted of 16 characters, allowed them to record their laws, stories, and business transactions. By the 12th century, the Vikings had established a complex system of laws, which included the concept of trial by jury, and women's rights, which gave them the ability to own property and divorce their husbands. The aftermath of the Vikings' expansion saw the establishment of cities across Europe, including York, Dublin, and Kiev, which became major centers of trade and commerce. The Vikings' influence can also be seen in the languages and cultures of the regions they settled, with Old Norse contributing to the development of the English language, and Viking customs and traditions influencing the folklore and mythology of the British Isles. As you consider the Vikings' legacy, you may wonder how their discoveries and achievements were lost to popular culture, and why it is that the myth of the horned helmet has endured for so long. As you reflect on the history of the Vikings, you are left with the realization that their true legacy is one of exploration, trade, and cultural exchange, and you may ask yourself what other historical myths and misconceptions await revision and reinterpretation.